our August monthly meeting. Please be advised that the council meeting is recorded. It will be live streamed and remain available to the public online. All persons, including councillors, attending council meetings are to behave in a respectful and considerate manner and not engage in conduct or language that could be perceived as offensive, defamatory or threatening towards others. Welcome to you all. Councillor Wiley, could I impose on you to do the acknowledgement of country and the statement of values, please?
Sure can. The Central Coast Council acknowledges and pays respect to the traditional owners of Lutruwita, the Palawa Pakana people. We acknowledge the Punalapana tribe of this northern country, and in doing so, we celebrate one of the world's oldest continuing cultures. And the statement of values, guided by the diverse beliefs, experiences and backgrounds of the people we represent, we strive to make inspired and respectful decisions today that will build a better tomorrow.
Indeed we do. Thank you so much. Takes us to item 1, which is attendance and apologies. We have apologies from Councillor Sophie Lehman. The rest of us are here. Item 2 is declarations of interest. Councillors and staff must declare any pecuniary or conflict of interest in any open session items on the agenda. Are there any declarations, please?
No.
Thank you. Item 3 is confirmation of the minutes. The recommendation there that the council confirm the minutes of the ordinary meeting from the 21st of July. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion? No. Councillor Viney, seconded Councillor Smith. Any issues with the accuracy of the minutes?
No.
No, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. That takes us to item 4, which is Mayor's report and Mayor's communications. A couple of things there that I wanted to share with you from our community, if I could. Firstly, just a letter of thanks from Tasmanian Health Service for hosting the Breast Screen Tasmania mobile screening unit when it was in Ulverston between the 2nd of June and the 18th of July. During the screening period, the unit screened 1,017 women, and of those, 109 were screened for the very first time. So each time we host that bus, the Tasmanian Health Service write to us and thank us because it sits in our property adjacent between the council offices and the civic centre. So great to see an ongoing increase in the number of screenings. And the other thing that I wanted to mention in communications is that today is Vietnam Veterans Day, being the 18th of August. And today I was pleased to join the Mersey-Leven Vietnamese Veterans Group for a commemoration in Devonport. The Battle of Long Tan was a significant moment in Australia's war in Vietnam. And on the 18th of August, 1966, a rubber plantation near the village of Long Tan, Australian soldiers fought one of their fiercest battles of that war. The men of Delta Company, 6th Battalion Royal Australian Regiment, faced a force of some 2,000 North Vietnamese and Viet Cong troops. The battle was fought in wet and muddy conditions during a heavy tropical downpour. By the end of the day, 17 Australians had been killed in action and 25 were wounded, one of whom died a few days later. This was the largest number of casualties in a single operation since the Australian Task Force had established its base near Nui Dat the previous April. On return to Australia, many Vietnam veterans felt that their service had not been properly honoured and sought public recognition of it from the federal government. Eventually, in 1987, veterans received their Welcome Home Parade. 22,000 Vietnam veterans marched through Sydney in front of a crowd of some 100,000 Australians. As an act of national recognition, then Prime Minister Bob Hawke declared the 18th of August each year would be known as Vietnam Veterans Day. On this day, we commemorate all of the battles fought by Australians in Vietnam, from large service operations to platoon and section-level encounters. We remember the sailors of the Royal Australian Navy who supported land operations and members of the Royal Australian Air Force who served in combat and transport roles. Lest we forget. Item 4.2 is the Mayor's Diary, a list of events there that I have represented you at, with the removal, please, of the Disrupted Tides event in Penguin, which I was scheduled to attend on the Friday night, but the weather was inclement, so they had to cancel the Friday night session. But from all reports, the other sessions were fabulous, and some references there to it, people that have attended other events. Any comments on the Mayor's Diary before I ask for a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor, Deputy Mayor, did you wish to report?
Yes, thanks, Mayor. On your behalf, I attended the TASTAFE Awards, which is something that is dear to me because of the training of apprentices we've done over our years. And I'd just like to acknowledge two of our members, two of our community members who received awards. Cameron Hilfenhaus from Top Cut Welding and Maintenance won the Metals Final Year Apprentice of the Year, and Benjamin Ling from Voss Construction won the Construction Final Year Apprentice of the Year. So congratulations to them. One thing I came away from the evening was a phrase that TAFE used, which I really liked. It's that TAFE is transforming lives through learning. And as young people go through their apprenticeships, which I would encourage any young person to do that. It's just a great motto, I think, for TASTAFE. So it was a pleasure to attend on your behalf, Mayor.
Chris, thank you. Any other reports? Councillor Carpenter.
Thanks, Mayor. On your behalf, CEO Vicky and myself attended the Ulverstone Fire Brigade annual dinner last month. And again, you would have been there quite a few times along with some other councillors, and they put on a great night. There was quite a number of volunteers that received awards that night. And if you allow me to indulge, I will read them out.
Please do.
Volunteer Medal 40 Year, Chris McKenna. Tas Volunteer Medal 30 years, Robert Cunningham. Tas Volunteer Medal 20 years, Joshua Banfield. Tas Volunteer Medal Award, Richard De Boer. Tas Volunteer Medal 40 years, Robert Manwaring. Tas Volunteer Medal 40 years, David Stott, AFSM. Tas Volunteer Medal 30 year, Andrea Stott. Brigade Life Membership awarded to Reece Cunningham, which was a surprise for him. TFS Service Medal Award, 10-year Dean Mannering. Service Medal Award, 20 years Scott Albright. Ulverstone Fire Brigade Firefighter of the Year awarded to Scott Albright. And Mayor, they also saw fit to nominate a fireman for the Australian of the Year Local Hero in this year's forthcoming Australian of the Year Awards, and the nominee was Robert Manwaring, which is a council employee. Mayor, what I would like to pass on is, like all volunteer service people, they are also looking for volunteers. So if anybody in the community or anybody inside council have the time or feel like they can commit, the Ulverstone Fire Brigade would welcome them well and truly. So we could pass that message out there in some form through some of our social medias or some of our chats. It'd be great to see if they can keep their volunteer numbers up, but a good night was had.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Any other reports? No, just to finish that section then, I attended the Apex Club of Ulverstone, changed their changeover dinner on the 2nd of August. Again, a great night and their own recognition of some great contributions that we individually made. And of course, for this organisation, we partner with them so closely in a number of their projects. We're grateful for the caravan park and for the work that does. We're certainly grateful for the Christmas parade and last year the carols and the fireworks. And so we are so grateful to have them as part of our community. And I expressed that on behalf of the community at the dinner. Just wanted to acknowledge the great work for the last year of outgoing President Kurt Knowles and his committee, and as they welcome in a new committee for the following year, and their financial reports and their annual report make it clear that they returned over $60,000 in community grants to the Central Coast community. So like our other service clubs in Central Coast, we are so fortunate to have them here, and that they find ways not only to raise money, but they find ways to return it to those that are in need. So yeah, just was great to join them. So that must be the end of the changeover dinners. I think it's the month of dinners. Anything else to add to those items? If not, could I have a councillor move the recommended motion for that item, please? Councillor Prose, seconded Councillor Beswick. I presume there's no further discussion. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 5.1 is councillor communications, where councillors are invited to make any reports, either for your committee work or important events and community matters that have come to your attention. Anybody have anything they wish to report? Councillor
Yes,
Dick-Rose.
ma'am.
Thank you.
I attended the Central Coast Community Safety Partnership Committee. Just a few things that come out of that. One's an ongoing discussion, which is e-scooters and the issues that people are having with e-scooters. But I believe council's looking at bike lanes to rectify that problem in the future. Is that correct, Chris? Looking at bike lanes? Yes. The Youth Council will also be approached to see what ways they can come up with educating their peers on e-scooter behaviour. The police also, there was a conversation had about hooning, and the police made a point of saying if anyone knows or anyone hears any hooning, then they should report it straight away. So that way then they can actually have some data and look at hot spots and troublesome spots where hooning occurs, so they can look at doing something about that. They also reported that the Marine Police have now moved into the Penguin Police Station, so that gives a great representation of police in the Penguin area. Also on police, a conversation was had on the counterfeit notes which have been going around, and to advise people that if anyone comes across one or think they have, to put it in a Ziploc bag and then report it. We had a presentation from Soraya, who's from the PCYC, and she spoke about a program that they've got going called Respectful Relationships, and that's in conjunction with Blake Nolan, who's a community police officer. And it's a program that's actually, they're going to grades 5 to 6 and talking about creating conversations and creating faith within like community policing, and making sure that relationships between years 5 and 6 with police are not scary ones but good ones, and they can actually create a good vibe amongst all. So in term 4, that program is actually going into Ulverston Primary School, but the program is also there for other schools to apply to have the same thing if they would like. I'd also like to talk about the Community Safety Partnership have actually got what's called the Community Safety Champion Award. So, and this is open to anyone who lives in the Central Coast community. So if you think that you know of someone who's done stuff over the last 12 months that you believe is good in helping to keep our community safe, then please let council know and pick up a form. Nominations can be submitted by individuals or by organisations. So I think that's a really good thing, that we reward people who do good stuff within our community, especially when it comes to keeping our community safe. And thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you for that report. Any other reports? No. We will move on. 5.2 is councillor questions on notice. No questions on notice have been received. 5.3, likewise, councillor questions without notice. Councillors are invited to ask any questions without notice at this time through the CEO that relate to any portfolios. Any questions from around the table?
No, ma'am.
No.
Councillor Dick-Rose.
One for the CEO.
Thank you.
Want me to do
Yes,
that now?
yeah, please proceed. Sorry, yes. Go ahead.
So I've been approached regarding outdoor PowerPoints, and if we can do some kind of audit and let people know where outdoor PowerPoints are, especially in relation to people that rely on gophers to get them to town and about. And sometimes if batteries play up, if the weather's cold and the charge runs down, so they need somewhere where they can go up the street and actually plug in and recharge their gopher. So if we could look at that,
week.
that would be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that has certainly come to our attention through the Youth Council in the past, as far as places where people could recharge their devices, which not only applies to young people, that applies to anybody who's using a device. So thank you, Councillor DePrice. Any other questions for the CEO or staff at this time? 5.4, councillor motions on notice. No motions on notice have been received. Takes us to item 6, petitions and deputations. 6.1 is petitions. No petitions have been received. 6.2, deputations. No request to address this meeting as a deputation have been made. Public question time. Public questions will be conducted in accordance with regulations 33 and 36 to 38 of the local government meeting regulations and the council's public question time policy. And I believe there's a copy of a policy, or the information that you require is probably on those clipboards that are available to you. Public question time is limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. Before we get to that, however, we will note that 4 questions were taken on notice at the 21st of July meeting. The council's written responses to those questions are sent directly to the questioners following the meeting, and they now appear in your agenda for the purpose of record. Which is all good, and that takes us to 7.2, public questions on notice. So no questions from members of the public were submitted on notice for tonight's meeting. That takes us to public questions tonight from the floor. Of course, members of the public may ask up to 2 questions without notice at this time. Please address your questions to me. Just state your name and the area in which you live. All questions are to be asked in accordance with the public question time policy. Please note that any questions relating to any item for decision on tonight's agenda are not allowed in the interest of procedural fairness. And just advise those in the gallery again that that this council meeting is recorded, is being live streamed, so you can wave to those at home while you're standing if you wish. And of course it remains available to the public online. My computer's just doing a thing. Welcome to those of you in the gallery. Thank you for making time to spend with us this evening. Are there any questions from the gallery, please? If so, please step up close to the microphone. Come in, sir. Welcome. Thank you. The microphone there at the end, if you...
I didn't bring biscuits.
No, my apologies. I've only just landed here. I have no chocolates to offer. A very poor show on my behalf.
Not at all. We appreciated the chocolates, but we don't need any more. We're all watching our weight. Mr. Abood.
Oh, good evening. Yeah, Kevin Abood from Ulverston. Short and simple. So Taswater is the corporation which controls, maintains, upgrades and expands the state's water and sewage network. In 2009, the state government, with 10%, and all 29 local councils become the joint owners of this corporation. This leads thee to my first question. Can the Central Coast Council and all of ye councillors, in the best interest of the community, please provide each year's dividends to the Central Coast Council since Cradle Coast Water, now Taswater, began in 2009?
We most certainly can. Happy to provide that to you in a letter on notice.
Sure, thank you, ma'am. With the increased awareness of the dangers of fluoridated water globally, including in recent times, councils in Queensland having authority to stop adding it to the drinking water network, of which several councils so far have done. This leads thee to my second question. In the best interest of the community, has the Central Coast Council and all of ye councillors tested the water or researched the dangers of fluoride? If not, why not? As this could be damaging you, your loved ones and your community.
Thank you, Mr. Abood. I do believe that we've had a question regarding fluoridisation previously, but I'm not sure that it related to the testing, Alf, as you would be aware. The fluoridisation of water is done in line with state regulations to Taswater. But if there's anything different that we can provide you as far as how it is tested, how often it is tested, then I'm sure the CEO is happy to provide that to you in notice.
The purpose of that question is for all of your education around the table. You know, if you guys have actually done any research into the benefits or the dangers of fluoridation.
Yeah, no, I
Personally,
appreciate that. This opportunity is a chance for members of the public to ask a question of the organisation. Should you wish to have individual conversations with any of the elected, please feel free to reach out to them individually.
So, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other questions from the gallery?
I might happen to have a couple, please. Thank you for listening to us.
Welcome.
You'll be disappointed. This is not to do with the creeping stealth of communism. This is about local council issues.
We're
So
welcome.
you get a break from that for this week only. Philip Jewell from Clarks Road in Preston. My rates notice is generated by Central Coast Council. Despite my belief that it's unconstitutional, I currently pay them as we are awaiting the breaking of this fraudulent charge. My question is, who raises the notice, the body corporate or the body public?
There you go.
We'll get back to you to make sure we've got the right definition for you.
Right, thank you. So flowing from that, because I'm presuming the answer to the, well, let's read the question and you'll understand. When my rates notice is issued, it has an ABN on it, which means that it's raised by the body corporate. As a corporation, Central Coast Council body corporate is bound by the regulations of the Corporations Act 2008. Business by a corporation is transacted by contract. One of the essential elements of a legitimate contract is consideration. When I pay rates, there is a component for rubbish. I pay my rates but receive no coupons for transfer station. So council is acting fraudulently in receiving but giving no consideration. When will this stop?
Mr. Jewell, I'm not quite sure where you actually
Preston.
live.
Yeah, Preston.
So sorry, I'm just not
So-
familiar with the localities, so you'll have to.
So the issue would be that a property that doesn't have a residence on it does not get issued with tickets.
Mhm.
You have to come in and apply to see whether you'll be allowed to have tickets, but
Mhm.
you've been charged.
Okay.
So
Can I
that
refer
that
to
would
the
be an
director?
illegitimate on
Can I refer that to the director,
So we
please?
definitely need some point of clarification how
Yeah.
the director might want to
Mhm.
talk about the contribution towards public waste management that all residents make, but
Yeah, so a significant portion of our waste management practices are just covered by general rates, and that includes our country transfer station arrangements. We issue those to rural properties that have a residence on them, as you've sort of said, and our current policy excludes properties that don't have. So that's the eligibility for against. But that's funded through general rates, not through a specific service fee.
So a component of my rates is paying for rubbish, correct?
Yes.
But I receive no service.
if you so there is the service that we all receive in as far as the public waste collection and now public place recycling that we all contribute to, which is in Raby Street, in Main Street, Penguin, or anywhere else where there are waste bins.
Right, so that goes over my head. I've no idea what that is or.
So the rubbish bins in Raby Street that you would that any of us put our waste in when we visit any public place, parks, reserves, footy grounds.
So you're
and
allowed
Main
to come to
Street.
town and put your rubbish in a rubbish bin?
Well, if you need a rubbish bin when you're in town, the bin is provided there for you. And
So
I
you're
feel-
talking specific, so any rubbish bin that's along a street or something, is that what you're talking about? Or is there a specific rubbish bin that I'm not aware of?
no, it is the public waste service. But I think it's important for us to, as you've indicated, for your location and what your rates notice would say, so that the CEO has an opportunity to make sure that we're providing you with that correct and thorough information.
My understanding was if I come into town and I put rubbish in a rubbish bin, that's not what that is for. That is outside
we wouldn't expect you to come into town and put your household waste in a rubbish bin, but we would absolutely expect that when you're in one of our parks or recreational facilities or in the CBD, that there should be somewhere for you to put the waste that you consume or that is created at that point in time. Not have to take it home.
So the household rubbish that I have, what am I expected to do with it?
Again,
Am I to pay again by taking it to a transfer station and paying to? That would seem like double dipping, I would think.
Can we please I'll just go have a look at your actual property site.
Yep.
We'll make sure we understand the parameters around that and we can provide clarity for you.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from the gallery? No? Thank you for those questions. Thank you for joining us this evening. That takes us to section 8, which is council acting as a planning authority, and 8.1 being that there are no matters for consideration, the planning authority at this meeting. All is quiet. Item 9 is Office of the CEO and Mayor, and 9.1 is the Chief Executive Officer's report. You have the report, you have a recommendation in 2 parts. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please?
So moved, ma'am.
Thank you, Councillor Carpenter, seconded Councillor Beswick. Any questions of the CEO on the report?
Been answered.
It's pretty straightforward, I believe. I suppose one thing I might just mention, Mayor, is
Councillor Beswick,
sorry.
you're up. Big voice.
Big voice. It's great to see that we're endorsing the Burnie City Council's grid admittance into the CCA, which was one of the criteria when we did our look over the CCA's operation. I look forward to the contribution that will make towards more collaboration in our region. That's one great thing out of the report there, Mayor.
Thank you. Any further comments? Nothing at all. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. 9.2 is the Councillor Dispute Resolution Policy. You've been provided with a copy of the policy. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please? Councillor Van Rooyen, thank you. Seconded Councillor Wiley. Councillor Van Rooyen, anything to share with us, please?
I know, just in the support, I would like to advise my support for the moving of the policy. Whilst we try to avoid disputes, it's important to understand the rules of engagement within any organisation. It underpins our code of conduct, the way we behave and the way we conduct ourselves within council, and provides that structure should the event arise, that everybody has the opportunity to be able to be heard, to be able to speak to the matter, and be able to hopefully resolve matters within a timely manner, allowing the council to get on with future business.
Indeed. Thank you. Any other contributions? Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Yes, just as a note, this is a model prepared by Legat to go along with our code of conduct policies. It also gives a scope where things can be discussed and resolved before it actually gets to the code of conduct. In that, it's a very important piece of proposal.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Wiley.
I would just like to say I'm very pleased that we're sitting at a table right now where we haven't had to worry about any of this coming into play. However, it is for not just who's at the table now, it's for the future of our council as well. So it is good to have that that policy there to go back on. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Any others? No. Councillor Van Rooyen, anything to close?
The only thing I thought of as Councillor Viney was speaking on was that, yes, it was a requirement or a request under the local government authority, and that we've actually met with inside that recommended guideline as well. So we'd like to thank council staff and those who have contributed towards that that goal. So thanks very much, and nothing more to add.
Well said. Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 9.3 is delegation updates. delegate our council delegations to the Chief Executive Officer. Some changes again that have been required of us through changes in the various acts and regulations. So you actually have 5 parts of the recommendation there. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please?
So move me.
Thank you, Councillor Beswick. Seconded, Councillor Diprose. Councillor Beswick.
Yeah, just briefly, Mayor. This is just basically, and I'll read the last sentence of the conclusion here. It's just updating and the recommended changes to allow administrative updates to bring council's delegations in line with the recent legislative changes. There's regular, not often, but legislative changes that we just need to adapt our policies to, so that we've got the right approval person in place to be able to delegate those responsibilities to. So I'm happy to support the
Recommendations
motion there. Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you. Any other speakers? No. In that case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Section 10 is community services. Item 10.1 is the Central Coast Health and Wellbeing Strategy. We've been working on the strategy for some time. You have a full report there. We've also had a workshop to ensure that we have captured your thoughts. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please? Councillor Wiley, thank you. Seconded. Councillor Beswick, thank you. Councillor Wiley.
Thank you. I'm very happy to speak to this. It's a huge body of work, and as you've mentioned, has been worked on for a very long period of time, and encompasses a huge, broad range of things under the health and wellbeing umbrella. So there was a few things within this report that stood out to me, and thank you to all the people that were involved from the community as well, because it was a collaborative effort with other stakeholders within our community. But you know, some of the information that I found interesting, bit concerning, is that 95% of our residents don't meet their daily veggie requirement. So it made me think about myself as well. I don't think I meet the daily vegetable requirement, but when we have these statistics in front of us, it gives us the opportunity to then look at why the numbers are like they are. So having this really conclusive report will allow us to have a workable document that we can go back to and seek actions out of the information that's there, and be accountable to our community for, and to know what our role is in each of the fields under health and wellbeing as well, whether we're an advocate, whether we're a facilitator, all of those types of things. So it was a really great report. One thing that did stand out to me, that if I can ask the Director of Community Services through you, CEO, is we have had a very strong watchful eye, I guess, on the domestic violence situation throughout Community Safety Partnership, and just through council in general. We've been doing what we can do in that space. So it does say most of the things in the strategy will align the statewide data with what's happening in the Central Coast as well, which is fabulous. Domestic violence only has the statewide data, so I wondered whether we could narrow that down, knowing that we do have such high rates here on the Northwest Coast, so we can keep a better eye on what's happening in Central Coast and do what we can to help.
Absolutely. I think it's really important that we have an idea of what's happening in our backyard. So we certainly will look to get some clarity around that and make sure we've got some more granularity about what is occurring here. Moving forward. Yep, so we can get some clarification on that. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's it from me, I think.
Fabulous. Thank you. Other comments, please, regarding the health and wellbeing strategy? Councillor Beswick.
Yeah, just briefly, Mayor, and I concur with Councillor Wiley. This is basically a document that's been put together from 5 other documents, so we're consolidating and we've got our age-friendly strategy, dementia-friendly action plan, community safety plan, local food strategy, security strategy and youth strategy all into this one document, so we can basically pull this whole document up, which is good. A couple of positive things that when I was reading through the document was that Central Coast has got 75% higher education compared to 60% Tasmania-wide. Now, these figures might be a few years old, but that's a positive for our community, and also that unemployment in our municipality also is under the state average. So that's a couple of positive things for our community. But I'm really pleased to see this document come together. As everybody said, there's a lot of work, and thanks to the staff as well for all the work that's gone into that. So yeah, I'm happy to endorse the document.
Thank you so much. Other comments, please? Oh, nothing further to add. I would just echo those. Pleased that we've been able to consolidate some of our work into one place where it clearly indicates what our organisation is responsible for, how we can influence the outcomes, how we can measure future outcomes. And I agree, Deputy Mayor, it has not always been the case that this municipal area had higher than state average levels of educational attainment or the employment statistics. So continuing to work together to at least, as you said, once you've got the document and the data, you've got some visibility over that. I was pleased at the time that we didn't proceed with the original health and wellbeing strategy timeline, which had us working on it in sort of 22-23, when there was that other work taking place in our community. So I'm grateful that staff decided that the best thing we could do was to let the Health Consumers Tasmania work conclude, learn what it did, and they consulted with a massive amount of stakeholders that probably we would never have the resources to do. They touched hundreds and hundreds of people. So I think that was a good organisational decision, and I think it's resulted in a better outcome. So again, my thanks to the staff that have led the work. Councillor Wiley, anything to close?
I think that we can just take comfort in knowing that we haven't lost any important work in consolidating the different strategies that were there. I think sometimes out across multiple strategies, it's easy to lose information, whereas we've now got one really good, solid document that we can keep going back to and keep referring to and make sure that we're across what we need to be. So, yeah, really pleased.
Thank you. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Takes us to 10.2, which is the future ownership of the former Penguin Primary School site. You have a recommendation there in two parts. You have been briefed on this issue. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please? Thank you, Councillor Viney, seconded Councillor Carpenter. Councillor Viney, your comments?
Yes, I'd just like to move that the request for an extension of ownership of the former Penguin Primary School be asked for, along with a request for extension of our out of hours care at the kindergarten area of that building. We've had a recent request that asked for an expression of interest in regard to the ownership of that site, but we feel as if that we need more time to evaluate that takeover of ownership, on the basis that we really need to do a study as to what we can do with it and where it will fit with the council's going ahead in that area. Not just make a knee-jerk reaction in respect of the request.
Good. Yes, agreed. Thank you. Councillor Smith.
Yes, I also support this. It's good not to rush into these things. We'd like to do a full evaluation of it to see the opportunities, and also consult with the people over there, because that's very important, and that will give us time to be able to go to the community, full discussion, look what we can use it for, look at all the costs, and to make sure that we're using our resources in the correct manner. And we are transparent, and that's why I think it's a great decision trying to ask for this extra time, so that it just gives us time to go out to full consultation with all people concerned.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Dick Rose.
So it might be seen to be a great opportunity, but opportunities are only as great as the time and planning and preparation that you have to put into them to make the most of that space. So it would be amiss of us to just say, yep, it's great, we'd have it, without actually looking at what it would cost us eventually over the time, and what the community would need to see there. So yeah, it's really good really good, and I'm happy to support this recommendation just purely for those reasons.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Carpenter.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor, for a couple of minutes. Totally endorse the recommendation by council, and I think it's imperative that we do due diligence, irrespective of whatever we think around the table and everything else. You must do your due diligence, because it's not a small parcel of land, and there's probably hidden costs there. So I think if the Department of Ed are serious in what they want to try and do with it or achieve with it, they would concur with what we're asking. In saying that, Mayor, I think there's huge opportunity also, but again, it's got to be done properly, and it's got to be done that's affordable and that can give something back to the community, and not just have it on our assets for the sake of having it, Mayor. So totally endorse the recommendation.
Thank you. Councillor Wiley.
I totally wanted to jump into this and say, oh, wow, look at all the opportunities. And I know so many community groups that could use it, all of that stuff. But after the excitement died down a little bit, I do understand why we do need to do our due diligence, and we do need to make sure that it's the community's interests, that that we make sure that we make a proper fiscally sound decision. So hopefully after that period of time, we'll discover that it will open up some good opportunities for the community, but we do need to make sure that we can get that extension of time to really look into it and do it properly.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Peswick.
Yeah, just briefly, Mayor. I agree with everything everybody else has said. Like when we look at purchasing, taking over a building, we don't know the inherent risks, and the due diligence with the building is one of the most important things, because we could be taking over something that needs quite a bit of work doing too. So I'm excited, a bit like Councillor Wiley, that in the end what we can do with that, but it does go onto our balance sheet, and in the end it becomes a cost to the community. So we just need to make sure that we do all the right things to check that out, and I think it's imperative to the government or the Education Department to give us that time to do that work. Thank you.
Any other speakers? No. I hope that the request for extension will be met with a favourable response, particularly from the point of view of our after school and occasional care. From my purview, I'm not sure where else we would put that if it wasn't there, and we know how crucial it is to the families of Penguin. There are lots of opportunities, but there are lots of other issues, and as we have committed in the past, we will not add to this organisation's workload midstream, because when that happens, the work doesn't get completed, and we get to the end of the year and we haven't completed what we set out to do. So this will allow us to think about how we approach it and come to a structured way of approaching it, and as Councillor Smith has said, to talk to the right people, but it will also allow the CEO to manage the time commitment and the staff resources necessary to do that work, possibly into the first half of the next year, because we already have a full year of work to do. Yes, let's hope that it's seen favourably, and let's hope that we can come to a good outcome somewhere along the line. Thank you for the discussion. I apologise, I've forgotten who moved. Thank you. That's what it's the head cold. Councillor Viney, anything to close?
No, I think everything's been covered.
Thank you. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Section 11 is corporate services. 11.1 is the financial report. And as you can see there, financial reporting for the 25-26 financial year will be provided from the month of September onwards, as the finance team focus on finalising statutory financial statements and working through the end of year audit. So at the next meeting, you'll see the recommencement of the monthly results. While we're preparing, still going through end of financial year work, aren't we? Any statements on that? Everybody's comfortable? Thank you so much. 11.2 is the councillor social media policy. You've been provided by the policy. You've been provided with a copy of the policy. We've workshopped this item, and the recommendation is that you adopt that policy and you rescind the social media guidelines, which were dated October 2020. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item? Thank you, Councillor Van Ruin. Seconded, Councillor Diprose. Councillor Van Ruin, your thoughts?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As you advised, it was workshopped previously, and it is to rescind the previous social media policy. And as I make it very clear, I like rules. It's always good to operate inside. There's more fun to be had. And although much of the policy appears common sense, it's good to actually have in writing what those guidelines are. It's important that as councillors and as members of the council to be able to promote and drive the exciting things that are happening here on the Central Coast. It's also a matter of protecting our brand as well, and we are a worthwhile organisation to protect. So it's an important part of that. So fully support the endorsement of the new policy there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Diprose.
I just wanted to say, like, social media is such a big part of our life, and it changes over time. So it's important for us to keep up with, make sure our policies and that actually keep up with the changes that are being made.
Thank you. Any other contributions? No? Anything to close, Councillor Van Ruin?
No, nothing to close, Mayor.
Thank you. The motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Section 12 is infrastructure services, and 12.1 is the tender for the Mascules Road Community Building. You have a recommendation there that you accept and approve a tender from AJ&M Construction Proprietary Limited, and the amount, and for the purpose of the purpose of the tender. This is very exciting. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for that item, please? Councillor Viney, thank you. Seconded, Councillor Beswick. Councillor Viney.
Hooray, finally. After much posturing, talking, etc., we finally come up with the tenders for the building to house this historic Machinery Club of Tasmania and the Northwest Model Engineering Society, which are also sharing with the
those two.
The railway.
Yep, that's it.
Yep, like the light railway. And being the win-win that it is, it also came in under budget as well. It's been on our budgets for a while, but it's finally got to fruition, and I'm pleased to be able to move that motion.
Indeed. Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Beswick.
Just briefly, Mayor, I agree. Yay. It's I've been on council for coming up 7 years, and this has been there for probably 3 or 4 of those years. So it'll be just great to get that area finalised. We've got some of the items that were moved from where the hive's been built out there. That'll just tidy it up and make it a productive area, and hopefully make it great for the participants that are going to be using that building. So, and I concur with Councillor Viney. It's excellent that we've got a little bit of budget up our sleeve, because no doubt during this financial year there'll be something else that'll go over. So it's nice to start on the right foot. Yeah.
Indeed. Other speakers? Councillor Smith.
So I'd just like to thank the staff for the great job that they've done. There's been a lot of work going into this, and since I've just had my short time on council, it's been going on. It's just great to see that this is happening. I just hope to see also that this is the first part of a really good development out in that area. Hopefully this is just the beginning of what could happen out along that space. It's just great. Everyone's gonna benefit from this.
Good. Thank you. Any other speakers? No, I just wanted to thank the volunteer members of the Historical Machinery Club and the Northwest Model Engineering, of the Ulverston Miniature Train, as most people would know that group. It has dragged on for longer than we would have liked, but I'm confident that we've now got the best design, the best model, and as you've said, a good price. So we thank them for their patience. and of course it has the flow-on effect of freeing up the space at what we lovingly call the old Penguin Depot site in Penguin. When the Historical Machinery Club have a new home, they won't know themselves in their new building, will they? They'll be like a dog with two tails. So it provides a number of opportunities, as Councillor Smith has said. So no, and thank you to the staff. I know it hasn't been easy. To close, Councillor Viney?
No, thanks.
No, thank you. I put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. 12.2 is the Cradle Coast Waste Management Group Annual Plan and Budget for 2025-26. And the recommendation is that you receive the annual plan and budget and note the ongoing work of the Cradle Coast Waste Management Group. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please?
Can do, Mayor.
Councillor Carpenter, thank you. Seconded. Councillor Beswick. Councillor Carpenter.
Mayor, there's a lot in this report if you read through all the pages of it, and it's an ongoing thing that's come through the waste levy that was put in by government 3-4 years ago now, I suppose. It's been going on, you know, and we've got a bit over $1 million to sort of invest somewhere this year in different projects and research and promotion about how to manage waste properly. So totally endorse the recommendation that we receive that report. There's going to be some good things coming out of this annual work going forward, like visiting the soft plastics again and trying to find places to put used bulker bags, 1-ton bags and things like this. So I know we pay for waste, and I know people think waste charges are getting exorbitant, which in some instances they probably are. But somewhere the money's got to come from somewhere to do research and development, promotion and awareness on waste. So out of that money you pay to get rid of your waste, this is where this money's going to. So everybody's paying a little bit to try and get a great outcome in years to come. If we don't, we won't have a good environment going forward. Also, you would like to think out of the work going forward that the dumping of waste in rural areas and bushland and things like that might cease a little bit more, with more awareness and more ways of being able to report it, and more help in councils picking it up with some of the funds going into that area also, Mayor. So endorse the work they're doing. They have got a large sum of money, and it'll be interesting to keep an eye on it and to see what it actually does deliver. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Other speakers, please. Councillor Beswick.
Yes, Mayor. This fund is coming from the landfill levy, and to me that's putting it to good use. And I agree with Councillor Carpenter that to be able to get the soft plastics out of landfill again, I know when it stopped, and even in our household of two, I reckon your waste goes up by nearly 30% when you're putting your soft plastics in the rubbish, so or in the waste, I should say, not the rubbish. But the community needs to realise that we just need to do more recycling, more reusing, because when you've ever had the opportunity to go and see a large landfill site, it's just astronomical, the pile of rubbish that we are creating, and that comes at a cost to the whole community. So yeah, I'm fully endorse the document that's been there, and for the work that they're doing.
Thank you. Other speakers? I agree with those things. The bulker bags in particular, that's been a bane of everyone's existence for some time. The soft plastics, that opportunity was lost. Now we need to find new markets. We need to find a product that the market will buy. For me, it is about the organics, the opportunity for commercial operators to participate in the organics collection and recycling. We have invested a large amount of public money in an organics processing facility, and we need to make sure that thing is working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, turning it into fabulous reusable products. So, as you've said, a big piece of work, but it looks like the priorities are good and are certainly consistent with what we have told the organisation that Central Coast would like to see happen. So, yeah. Well done to all. Councillor Carpenter, anything to close?
No, thanks, Mayor.
I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Section 13 is strategic growth and 13.1 is development support determinations. You've received the development support determinations report for the month of July 2025. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion for this item, please? Councillor Beswick, seconded Councillor Smith. Councillor Beswick, any reflections?
This document is something that's being worked on for a while, and it came about by a motion that was put up by former Councillor Hiskett, and I had a phone call from him today to say well done on getting this on the agenda.
We're on the determination.
Oh, I went the wrong one, sorry. Apologies, Mayor.
No, that's okay. I will allow you to say exactly the same thing when we get to the relevant one.
I got excited.
It was so well said. I'm going to allow you to repeat it word for word. 13.1 is just the development determinations that have already been made for development applications and plumbing and building applications for the month of July.
I was getting too excited there.
You were.
I have moved that one.
report.
As you say, it's a great report. The numbers are obviously down a little bit on the previous time this last year, but it's a bit of a cycle. And so in the end, no doubt things will pick up a little bit more. So,
But thank you. No, that is perfectly okay. Any other comments?
No.
No? As always, I just want to highlight the column that is down the right-hand side, which it says days taken to approve applications. Approve them faster. Tasmania approves them faster than the rest of the country. Just thought I'd throw that in. No other comments. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against, motion is carried. Thank you. That takes us to 13.2, which is the land use planning predetermination mediation policy. And the mover is Deputy Mayor, Councillor Beswick. And the seconder is Councillor Wiley. Councillor Beswick.
I was so excited.
I know, and that is, and rightly so.
Because it's going to make it so much better. And again, I acknowledge Councillor Hiskett for his motion that he put up to get this to this space. I've made a couple of notes here, Mayor, and if I might indulge. This is going to help where there may be able to be some mediation, consultation between the applicant and a representor when there's a planning application being put in. And in good faith, perhaps come up with a suitable compromise prior to a final planning decision. And perhaps in some instances that might be where there might be a refusal or whatever. So I think it just gives us one step where in the end it can help in these sort of situations. It's going to be a voluntary policy, so it's not that you're forced into that. It's up to the individuals whether they're prepared to accept that. And hopefully it'll avoid having to go to tribunals and other courses of action, which in the end is going to save time, it's going to save money for all those people. Saying that, it does not mean that you'll lose the right to appeal. You've still got those rights, but you'll be able to work through that. It's a document which is going to be reviewed in 12 months, see how it starts to work. I'd like to thank the staff for getting organised to put all this together. It'll be a whole learning curve, but it's just a part of helping our community with planning for projects to be able to get, perhaps the outcome that they may want, but also reflecting a little bit on other people, neighbours, nearby residents and so forth. So. Thanks,
well said. Thank you. Other comments, please? Councillor Wiley.
I think a lot can be said for a good conversation and a cuppa. And I think that this is really just a step in that direction where it may be that there could be a small compromise from either party in a dispute that could possibly save a lot of time and a lot of money. And I think that just by adding that step of a conversation when there is a dispute, it could hopefully go a long way to make sure that some more developments get across the line and that it's done in a respectful way to their neighbours.
Excellent. Other contributions? Councillor DeProse.
Just going to say that a good conversation actually creates respect, and from that, let's just hope that this saves lots of people thousands of dollars over the years to come in appeals, and people being able to get an outcome of both sides that they can live with amicably.
Agreed. Anything further?
Thank you, Mayor. I was just going to add, similar to our council dispute resolution policy, again, similar today, I think as a council we actually celebrate the opportunity that's provided for residents to have the ability to voice their concerns, but also for those who respond to that as well. And that's actually a healthy environment which we work in. So having that kind of framework where people feel they have the opportunity to be heard and to be represented will just continue to help with our community grow and function. So very well endorsed.
Thank you. Anything further? Councillor Beswick, anything to close?
Just one thing, and just reflecting on the other comments. In my building career, I used to always say to people, go and talk to your neighbour before you even do your plans. This is what we're thinking. Is there anything, that you've got that you're not happy about or whatever? Because in the end, as Councillor Wiley said, invite someone over for a cuppa and show them perhaps the draft plans and what you've got. That can sort of even one step before it even gets out there. So, yeah, nothing else to add there, Mayor, other than that, but good document.
Well done all. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. 13.3 is the value of the dial range report. You have a recommendation there that the council receive the attached report that was prepared by In Economics and approve its publication on the council website. Would a councillor care to move this recommended? Thank you, Councillor Wiley. Seconded. Councillor Carpenter. Thank you so much. Councillor Wiley.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to receive this report. Very impressed by the report that was given to us by In Economics, Saul Eslag and Emily Mailer, who were the two economists that worked on that one. It was actually something that was, it involved all of the stakeholders within the dial range. It certainly brought about more opportunities, and I thought that we all learnt something new from reading the report and what the opportunities are, particularly around tourism and hospitality and recreational users of it, but also the cultural significance, the environmental significance, the social significance. There's so much to this report, so I was really, really pleased to see how in-depth it was. There is a lot of information that we need to digest together as a council team, so I would like to mention that as part of the motion that originally brought this about, that we did ask Sustainable Timbers Tasmania to pause while we did the report and while we came to a formal position from this report. We have asked them to pause again, so that letter has been sent out in August and this report has been sent to them as well. I think that it's just really important to note the substantial investment in recreational infrastructure that's happening within the Dial, enhancing its reputation as a nature-based destination. It may not be as famous as Cradle Mountain or as other places around Tasmania, but it's really important to our community, and it's the corridor between the sea and the mountains, and it's a really special place that deserves the attention that we're giving it. So, yeah, that's it for me, I think.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Carpenter.
If I may for a minute or two, yeah, and totally concur with Councillor Wiley, and thank Council for taking this on board way back when you moved the motion, Councillor Wiley, and getting this report, because if councils make decisions around data and reports, we can't do much not too many things wrong if we've got the right information. And the report was quite dense and probably unlocked a lot of with questions with a lot of answers that people mightn't have been able to put together on their own. So we have facilitated a good report in that regard for everybody else out in the community, and to be able to go up on the website is something exceptionally special. The thing I like about our report and our meeting tonight, if we go back to the health and wellbeing strategy, these two reports basically link, or this report links back into the health and wellbeing strategy. And I know that we haven't got a position on this yet at council, but until we have time to sort of decipher everything out of the report and come up with a position, these things are so important to our community and are so interlinked with health and wellbeing that I would love to think that STT and its board of directors and chairman would take this opportunity, Mayor, that's wrote in this conclusion, this opportunity to allow us to fully come up with a position on this, and to give us time and give the neighbourhood time and the community time to come through and read the report and try and show them that there is better use for the dial. And I think it's quite clear there. Anybody that says it's not better use for the dial is not reading the report with open eyes. So support the conclusion and endorse the report. And thanks, Councillor Wiley, for bringing it forward ages ago now. And it's one of those things that's happened over the last 4 or 5, 6 months. And thank council staff for working on this.
Great, thank you. Other comments, please? Nothing to add. So I understand to yourself, CEO, that as part of we have a number of pieces of work that we're considering that we need to get our heads around and understand what our role is in relation to advocacy and what, you know, our formal position, if you like, and how we will advocate for better outcomes. This will form part of that advocacy work. What sort of timeline are we looking at to start that conversation around this table?
We're looking probably in the next couple of months to have the time for councillors to digest and actually think about what it means to them and the community. So we're picking up the advocacy work, I believe, late September, early October. And with that, there'll be a conversation with councillors about each of the areas that are really important and the direction you'd like us to take those pieces. So that's imminent.
Thank you. And as you've indicated, I think there'll be a range of people that are or different groups that are interested. We've already received some correspondence from one set of one group in our community that have read the report and unpacked it and started to ask what it means. I think our tourism sector will want to have will have an opinion. I think I'd like to think that our education institutions will have an opinion. And even today we met with Anne Urquhart, MP, and talked about the toilet facilities that are going in there. And we told her about this report and suggested that she find time to read it when she's on an aeroplane somewhere. Because I know that, you know, someone who's interested in infrastructure and public infrastructure, I think the Commonwealth Government will also be interested in what it says about how we can value add to the beautiful natural assets to which we've been endowed. So, yeah, no, well done. Councillor Wiley, anything to close?
Thank you, I will. I just would like to point out that when we do these studies that it is obviously accessible for the whole community, and it's actually a report for the whole community to be able to use it, to be able to get the information out of it and use it how they see fit. And I think it's really important to probably point out a couple of things that when it was presented to us in a workshop, that they were being quite conservative with the numbers. So things like the 3.5 to 5% growth that's expected in tourism in the dial is a fairly conservative approach. So I just think that it's worthwhile that the numbers are really sort of seen in that light. So there is really exponential opportunities within the dial range, and we need it standing while we make those decisions. So I think it's really important that we do push for a pause. It's not a conversation about anti-logging, although I'm not a fan of clearfield logging. It's not that conversation. It's about, is it the right place, and are we going to ruin something that's special to our community? So we need to just have that time.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. Thank you so much. Item 14.1 is the meeting closed to the public. You have a recommendation there. Would a councillor care to move the recommended motion, please? Councillor Dipro, seconded Councillor Smith. I'll put the motion. All those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Thank you. And the meeting is now closed to the public at 7:08 p.m. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your questions. Travel home safely. We wish you well.
Thank you all.
And we may see you at a time in the future.
Who knows?
Thank you.
Take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.